The international break is now over. What can Ipswich Town do in the last 8 games to keep their season alive? Come on.
Hi, I'm Paul Lambert. Please subscribe to the Ipswich Fanzone.
Right, so welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the final leg of the season. Now, Town are in the worst possible position they could possibly be after 38 games, but what can we say? It's been a rollercoaster of a season. We started with a manager that we had hoped for. Yeah, things might have changed, but that obviously didn't work out, and we found ourselves with a new manager, but it was too late. And I don't care what anyone says, if you don't have the right players, you can't do the right things on the pitch. And we got the players in early in January, but they needed a good 8 to 10 games to get settled in, and that leaves us where we are now, bottom of the league, but fighting. 6 draws in the last 7, draws against good sides: Derby, Stoke, West Bromwich Albion, to name but a few. But we've got a number of games against some good sides coming up now, and I think it's time we start winning some games. That'd be good to give the Town fans a bit of something to maybe brag about. I don't know, but it's not been good this season. Norwich being top, Town being bottom, it's really a car crash of a season for Ipswich Town. But there's things to be positive for, and things that we don't usually talk about all the time. Now, having been bottom of the division for most of the season, it becomes apparent that things need to change, and going forward things will change. You'd like to say Paul Lambert coming in for one was just a massive signing, probably the best signing of the year. He's not only turned round Ipswich Town, probably not on the pitch. We're playing with identity, so that's a bit better, but when we're talking about the club itself, the ideology and everything that goes with that has completely changed, and Ipswich Town look a different side going forward now, and I think the fans can see that. The fans are back on side. There's just a number of things, but the one that really impresses me, and the one that gets me excited for next season and seasons beyond that, is the amount of youngsters that we have come through at the moment. And it's scary to think that these players are 22 or younger at the moment, and it really is exciting. So let's start. Teddy Bishop, for me, probably outstanding this season. In my expectations, he's surpassed those. He's come back from 3 years of bad injuries. To be honest, there was a point where I didn't think Teddy was going to come back, and at the ripe old age of 22, you'd expect a player just to bounce back into the squad. But I mean, if you've got injury troubles, it's going to keep you out. That being said, he's come back, and he's not only the player he was, but he's more of a player than he was, and that takes some feet to actually come back and improve on the quality that you were all those seasons ago. Now, what can we say? And the emergences of young players such as Jack Lancaster as well. Jack Lancaster, what a player we've got there. Predominantly a striker in his youth, at youth level, and he's come into the squad on the right hand side, and although not like Messi, operating in a similar sense, cutting in and taking the shot on the left hand side. And just after his goal, he had an unfortunate injury, but how long that injury takes to clear up, we'll never know. But in the meantime, we can look forward to seeing him again, once again, in a blue shirt, and next season I fully see him as a starter. Another one for me, Miles Kenlock, has come in, and although he's not been as consistent as he was in previous seasons, he's earned himself a contract extension, and that puts him in good stead for next season to hold that left back spot over, obviously, Jonas Knudsen, who's no longer going to be at Ipswich Town. Lambert's made that very clear. But you've got other youngsters such as El Mazzuni. You've got Flynn Downs, who's been consistent this season. I think we need a bit more from him in midfield in terms of pushing forward, but let's not forget he's only still 19. The one that I've probably been disappointed with in progress, but can understand, is Andre Dazelle. Now, Andre's obviously struggled with injury part of the season. He's come back into the squad. Not really hit his vein of form just yet, but he's still only young as well. He's still only 19, and he's still got time to progress and become a better player. And I think in League One, those players will actually stand out, and we might be able to, see who's the best out of the bunch. But for me, you've got obviously Ndaba and Wolverhampton coming in as well. And Harry Wright, he's just gone out on a loan spell to Chelmsford City, so hopefully they'll get experience. But that being said, that's something we can look forward to as Town fans. In terms of League One, it's a big step down on many levels: wages, ticket pricing, structure, how the club work, and that's obviously going to take a lot of consideration going forward. But I feel if they get the season ticket pricing right, which will come out in the next, I'd like to say 1 to 2 weeks, I think it's going to be, if they get that right and they get the right formula with the fans, then there's going to be enough fans there at Portman Road next season to get the players playing the type of football we need to bounce straight back up. Now, I'm not saying that's an easy job, but it's a job easily done when you've got Lambert at the helm and players that want to play for the shirt. And we've seen that towards the end of the season. We've seen some real character and players such as Alan Judge. If we can keep hold of Alan Judge, God knows what kind of season we'll have next year. But I think him, it's got to be said, we've had some standout players this season. Chalabar and Pennington, both loan players, both bright futures in my opinion. Those futures aren't going to be at Ipswich Town if we're realistic. But players such as Judge, who's had a brilliant end of the season, but he's still got something to play for. I don't think you'll see many clubs coming in for him in the summer based on 10 or 11 games for Ipswich Town at the bottom of the Championship. Same could be said for Will Keane, a player who needs to be scoring goals and getting games. Now, this could be an ideal position for both of those players. Could actually show that they're willing, and able enough to play in League One, consistently perform and perform at a higher level than those that they're actually playing against, and that could win them contracts back in the Championship at some point, whether that be with Ipswich or somebody else, who knows. But in terms of how Town push on, the key is the structure, and Lambert's brought that in, and it's not only working well with the squad, it's working well with the fans. And if everyone's singing the same song, then at the end of the day you cannot go wrong with any of that. So it's come to our knowledge recently, FFP rulings have deducted Birmingham some points this season. 9 points has brought them down into probably a relegation fight for third bottom. It shows really that FFP is real, and there's teams out there that are struggling, but it also brings into context the struggle that Ipswich Town may have had to stay in the Championship in the sense of spending. Now, Derby is one that jumps out at me, and is something that's not a secret. Their owner is shelling out over £1 million a week to keep them fighting in the division. Now, if you take that and put that against what Ipswich Town are spending to stay in the Championship as we speak, then it's a phenomenal amount of money, and we can't compete with that at the moment. The owner is keeping this club afloat. I think that's what people need to concentrate on. No Marcus Evans, no club. To sell the club, you need to have a buyer. And at this moment in time, are we attractive enough for someone to come in and buy? I don't think so. You just need to be realistic. Now, for this club to go down and rise again, it's probably the best thing that can happen. And with that, you can attract new owners. You see it all the time. You look at clubs like Wigan, for example, Southampton, all of those clubs that have risen again and gone all the way into the Premier League. But going down, coming up comes with new investment, new strategies. And Norwich, I hate to say it, are an absolute ideal club to look at when it comes to going down and coming back up again. They've done it perfectly, and they had Lambert at the helm, and we have Lambert at the helm now. Can we emulate what they've done? That remains to be seen. But we need to stay the right side of FFP, and fortunately we have. In this sense, we sold enough in the summer to keep us afloat. That has damaged us. But I don't think that's the reason we did sell players in the summer, and that's obviously down to poor management skills and the idea of getting rid of everyone that done something for this club. Now let's talk about a club such as Bolton, who are currently struggling with regards to going into administration for a second time in their recent history. I think it'd be the 5th winding up order they've had over the last 10 years. I think it's something like that, or maybe even shorter. And to be honest, they've been given chance after chance after chance, and unfortunately for the fans of that championship club, a club with such a rich history, a club we've beaten in the playoffs before. I'm sure a lot of you remember when Jimmy Jilton scored the hat-trick against Bolton at Portman Road to send us through to the playoff final. But we shared some great memories with Bolton, but the Football League may need to make an example to teams such as Bolton and owners that think they can get away with murder, and unfortunately Bolton may be that team. Now, in today's world, you'd think, come on, clubs going out of business, can't afford, but it's all down to the owners and how they deal with the ownership of the club on a daily basis. Now, if you compare that to Ipswich Town, Marcus Evans has definitely taken on the responsibility of the debt for this club, which keeps the club in the green, and he also keeps it running on a daily basis. Now, going down is not going to be cheap for Ipswich Town. It's going to hit us really hard. So the quicker we get back up, the quicker we can get through this. But other clubs don't have that luxury. Bolton have gone down and they've come back up, but they've not changed things. And that's what happens if you don't change and you don't get new ideas, you don't go with the flow, then you end up in a situation where you just cannot get out of it. And that's where they are now. And it's very unfortunate to see, but as an Ipswich Town fan, probably feeling thankful now that it's not us going into administration. And but my thoughts go out to all Bolton fans at this moment in time, and hopefully there is a glimmer of light for your team. But like I say, the FA are going to look to make an example of the side at some point in the near future. So a little update on the channel progress and how we're getting on at the moment. So we are vastly approaching 1,000 subscribers. That would make this channel fully functional, give me the chance to invest in the channel a bit more, and give you lot a bit more as well. I've been working with a number of businesses and everything to try and get get Town fans a bit more involved. With WAF most recently in Ipswich Town Centre near the marina. They're offering 20% off to all Ipswich Town fans. Get down there. Honestly, it's a great vibe down there. You've got drinks, you've got ping pong, football, biggest screen I've ever seen, I reckon, despite being outside. But there's just lots to offer, and there's so many things going on behind the scenes that I can't share with you because I don't want to let you down, but I'd rather show you when it happens, and that's the important thing. But in the meantime, six of the last 8 games I'm going to this season, so obviously we've got Hull, and then my next one's Brentford. Can we get any points? Now, I'm quite optimistic. I'm normally a pessimist, but I'm optimistic that Town can actually improve on recent performances and actually get some points on the table. But I don't agree with the idea that if we did get points on the table, that would get us out of this current mess. I just cannot agree with that. Mathematically, Ipswich Town can stay up, but they won't do. And I think that's where we need to be realistic as fans on what to expect. Now, we can expect some good football. At this point in the season, we're probably playing with little or no pressure to perform. I've seen frustrations in the players, but not pressure. And I think we've been playing the best football we've probably seen all season, albeit we're not getting wins. And that's probably where our downfall is. We cannot win games. 3 games all season. It's just not good enough. But the draws are there. I can't say that we've actually lost a game to a draw. I think we've been in all of those games. Probably conceded first and fought back for the point. But why can't we go that step further? Probably something we need to improve on in the summer, especially going down into more competitive league. Let's not know the Championship is competitive, but League One is a dogfight, and anyone can win it. Just like the Championship, in a sense, you spend more money, you're going to win the league. In League One, it's a dogfight. Anyone can beat anyone. Look at Sunderland having good time in League One, but they've had some games. There've been teams going up to the stadium line, you know, scoring goals, and you know, we've got all that to come. We've got to expect that. We can't go in and think we're going to walk the league at all. We've got to give it the respect it deserves, but we've also got to go out and play football. And we've been playing some mesmerising football this end of the season. And you see teams come down here. A lot of them are very surprised that Ipswich are down where they are. And that is, you know, that's a slap in the face, really. It's the realism of where we are in the league. We've been bottom of the league all season. We just can't get out of it. But we've been playing some unbelievable football under Lambert. And I think it's time we deserve some wins. So, look, Hull on Saturday. Big game. I've got something up my sleeve. Hopefully I can show that to you in the matchday vlog on Saturday. But until then, make sure you subscribe. Let's try and hit 1,000 before Saturday, because that would be ideal for my plans. And, you know, let's hope we can get 3 points. Come on, you Blues.